Welcome everyone to today's video, which will teach you how to avoid overeating at Christmas. For those of you that don't know me, I help busy people stop snacking with my 30-day online program, which teaches people how to break their snacking habits for good in as little as 7 minutes per day. By the end of this video, you will come away with several solid ideas for how you can avoid overeating this Christmas. It might be helpful for you to have a Christmas diary or calendar handy, so grab that now. Also, a pen and paper would be handy so that you can workshop this as you go to get the most out of this video. We're going to cover how to avoid overeating snacks at home during the Christmas period, how to avoid overeating at meal times, how to avoid overeating at buffets, and finally, how to avoid overeating when we go out to restaurants. This will be a great investment of your time. When you get to the end of Christmas and think, I don't feel overstuffed and horribly guilty, it will be worth it. I've enjoyed everything I've eaten and I feel a sense of contentment, and that is what this video will give you. So, there are two things that you need to do to stop overeating when you don't want to. The first is increasing your awareness of what you eat, and the second is increasing your ability to practice healthy habits. So, which shape are you? Are you a cloud who goes all out at Christmas? Do you kind of keep some healthy habits up, like maybe you keep exercising or trying not to overeat, which would make you a diamond? Do you eat and just feel guilty about it anyway? Or are you a star Christmas eater? So, write down now which shape you are. Now, the good news is we can all become star Christmas eaters in 4 steps. Step 1. Identify your current Christmas eating habits. So the first step in making any change is to increase your self-awareness. Those who have completed the Snackless program will know this. Okay, so if you've ever got to the end of the Christmas period and thought, I'll go on a diet in the new year, and tried to change your eating from bad to good overnight, then you are far from alone. Somehow we imagine that one night's sleep will make all the difference to our motivation, don't we? With New Year's resolutions quickly fading. Okay? So let's think first, what situations or events might you be faced with where you'll be exposed to more food than usual? So get your calendar out if you need prompting as to what events you have. Think about before Christmas. Maybe you host parties or go out for Christmas parties. Maybe you just buy more food to have in the house. So answer the questions on the slide and pause the video if you want to do this now. Okay? And next, what beliefs do you have that reinforce your eating behaviours? For example, everyone overeats at Christmas, or I deserve to indulge, or my health doesn't matter for today. Pause the video and write down your answer now. Okay, so you've identified a few examples of when you're going to be at risk and some of the thoughts you have that cause you to overeat. Well done, that is step 1 done. We're going to cover off 4 common times when you might be at risk of overeating in step 2. And here's a tip for you. If you are serious about not putting on weight in December, or perhaps you even want to lose weight, start keeping a daily food journal now. This is the best way to truly identify when you're at risk. There's no need to calorie count or make it too complicated, but I recommend you capture the time and then a simple description of what you ate. If you start early in December, it will give you a really good understanding of your eating behaviours, and you might even find you start to eat a bit less just from writing it down. Okay, step 2, creating an eating plan in advance. So we're going to cover off eating plans if you snack at home. So those who have already completed Snackless know this. If you're at risk all the time because there's Christmas food at home and you'd eat this on top of normal eating, here's what you need to do. Pen and paper, write down what you plan to eat that day. You can plan to be naughty and to eat Christmas food you want. The trick is to do this consciously, okay? So in this example, Tom knows he's working from home on this particular day and he has a box of mince pies in the cupboard. He plans to take a break at 3 p.m. to sit down with a cup of tea and savour that mince pie. He's not letting thoughts about the box of mince pies in the cupboard play on his mind, like, should I get one now? Should I have two? He's decided that morning when he's made his plan that he's going to have one, and when 3 o'clock comes, he can settle down and enjoy eating it. Okay, and make your plans as easy to follow as possible. Don't aim for an ideal eating day. Aim for a plan that is going to give you enough to keep you full and satisfied without feeling bloated and guilty. There's no need to write down exactly what you're going to eat at meal times, okay? Now, clearly, if this is you and you struggle to overeat at home, the easiest thing to do is not bring it into the house in the first place. But let's assume you either want to enjoy some Christmas food at home or others in your household do. So if you do the food shopping, take a list. You'll have your usual list of essentials, but again, plan before you go what else you're going to buy. Look at their stock online beforehand if you know you want to buy something nice, but you don't know exactly what will be on offer. Because when you're standing in an aisle looking at the Christmas food, you have to make an impulse decision, and you're far less likely to make a good one than if you've consciously decided before what you want to eat. And all the packaging is brightly coloured to entice us to buy more than we need. If you do your food shopping online, don't put anything in your basket once you've decided you're done. Okay, supermarkets bring up deals you've missed and offers you might like before you go. No, this is the ultimate impulse and removes that conscious decision making we need to ensure that we don't overeat. If you're not in control of the food shop, it doesn't matter because you're still in control of what you eat and you can make snack plans either on the morning or the night before accordingly. We'll cover off how you stick to your snack plans in the final step. If you eat something that isn't on your snack plan, then you know it's probably out of impulse. Tom's put a little star next to the food that doesn't match his snack plan, which is what we tell people to do on the programme. Then over time we start to see, oh look, your stars are always at certain times of day or when you're in certain environments, typically in the evening in front of the TV for a lot of us in the UK. Okay, so by creating a snack plan, you're setting yourself a mini goal each day. Right, let's deal with the next one. Eating plans for eating out. A lot of us go out to eat at Christmas. Here's how to avoid overeating in these situations. Look at the menu before you go and decide what you're going to have. If you need to pre-order, that is the best option because this is your plan. You won't be eating on impulse because you've already decided. And this is what we want to replicate, even if pre-ordering is not required by the restaurant that you're going to. So decide up front how many courses you're going to have. Forget about how many other people are having. How many do you want? So some menus have calorie information on them. If you're into calorie counting, this might be worth looking at as it will indicate how rich the food is and therefore how full you might feel. You might decide to go for 3 courses because actually you really like the look of the soup for starter and the chocolate mousse for dessert, and both aren't going to be too heavy on top of whatever you want to have for main. Crazy idea, if you're just picking a main for the sake of it and you don't actually want one, don't order one. Like you could ask for another starter to have as a main. I guess what I'm trying to say is we're very conditioned to follow the crowd as humans because we have a need to fit in. And this was important when we were cavemen because it helped us to survive. In these situations, these instincts are not useful to us. You are in control of what you eat. Either way, planning what you're going to have in advance means you don't have to feel guilty. You can be a star Christmas eater because you've consciously decided what you're going to eat, and then when it arrives, you can simply savour it without worrying about what you might eat next. Okay, so when the waiter comes and says, do you want to see the dessert menu? You already know the answer. Okay, eating plans for buffets. Day 28 of the Snackless programme covers buffets, but I've got an anagram to help you with this one. BPMS. So it's more tricky as you rarely know exactly what food will be available. And even if you do, there's no set portions for you at a buffet. It's the most dangerous of all the risky eating situations. So, browse all of the buffet food first and decide all the things you're definitely going to put on your plate. Then join the queue and grab the biggest plate they've got, seriously, and pick up everything you're going to really enjoy eating. This plate needs to represent everything you plan to eat, so pile it high if you want to. And don't worry about what others think, because you're not going back up for more, okay? You will have on the plate in front of you a representation of everything you're going to eat. So if you sit down and think, I don't think that's enough, go back and get more before you start eating. When you're happy with what you've picked up, move as far away from the buffet table as you can and sit with your back to it. Take your time and savour it. Don't eat standing up. There's no need to rush, worrying that the chicken is going to run out, so you don't have to keep an eye on the buffet, okay? Everything that you're going to eat is on the plate in front of you. And then when you're satisfied and you're finished, get rid of the plate. Communicate how satisfied you feel and make statements like, that was delicious, I'm satisfied now. I particularly liked the dessert, I couldn't eat anything more. And this applies a tiny psychological pressure on yourself, in that as humans, we don't like others to see what we say and how we behave contradicting. Eating plans for home dinners. If you overeat at meal times, so not necessarily a buffet, but you pile your plate too high, this one's for you. The same principles apply, in that the food on your plate has to represent everything you're going to eat. So eat whatever you want and as much as you want, but make sure that is a conscious choice, okay? And you ensure it's a conscious choice by putting it all on your plate before you start eating. Avoid letting someone else dish up for you. If the dishes are in the middle of the table in front of you, that's helpful in that you can serve yourself, but then it makes it much more difficult not to pick at more of it. So make sure your favourite part of the meal isn't sitting in a dish right in front of you. So if you're much more likely to pick up an extra roast potato than a Brussels sprout, then make sure the roast potatoes aren't in reaching distance and the Brussels sprouts are. Then you have to make a conscious decision to get up, lean across the table if you want one. And this is just another small example of how you can help yourself by putting a barrier between you and the food. If you can move things off the table, even better. And if you're in your own home, you can do this. If you're in someone else's, you could simply move things away from you and say, otherwise the bowl will be empty. Okay? It's going back for more that will catch you out and make you overeat. So, how do we stick to our eating plans? So you have to follow your plan and then distract yourself. So people on the Snackless programme know this already. Every behaviour, like eating, is preceded by a thought about food. And when this thought develops, it causes an increasing urge to eat. And you need a lot of willpower and energy to overcome it. Willpower and energy that you might well have when you've had a full night's sleep and a piece of good news that day. So here we go. The key strategy to avoid overeating is to recognise your first thought about eating as it's happening, and then distract yourself with an alternative activity so that the urge to eat subsides. The thought might be, I've got that in the cupboard, or I'm bored, or I fancy something sweet. Either way, you'll know when you'll be at risk and when you might need to engage in one of these, right? Because you've already done step one, so you've already looked at your diary and gone, I'm likely to overeat here, here and here. So say, for example, I tend to overeat when I don't want to, in the evenings at home on the sofa on my own. Tonight my partner has gone out and I've got no plans except watching my favourite Christmas film, and there's sweet food in the cupboard, which is what I like. So I know that these conditions tend to lead to me eating too much. I'm clearly at risk. Thankfully, I have a list of alternative activities to distract myself. So I decide to have a shower immediately after dinner, which is my prime snacking time, and brush my teeth. And brushing my teeth is an incentive not to snack this evening. So when I sit down to watch a movie, I also get out some knitting to keep my hands busy, because it's impossible to knit and eat. Okay? If you want to learn how to swim, you can't just read about the technical aspects of swimming from a book. You have to practice. So being able to only eat when you want is a skill and therefore has to be practiced. Learning discipline around food requires practice. So what alternative activities work for you might not work for your friend. Now, here's Tom's list. The distracting activities you choose should be practical. So going for a run in the middle of a Christmas dinner because you wanted another roast potato would not be a practical option, okay? If you away snacks maybe when you got home from picking up the kids from school, potentially maybe some exercise at home would be a better option, okay? But if you're in the middle of Christmas dinner, getting up to get a glass of water and taking a deep breath, sitting up straight and smiling, that might be all you need to just get you over that urge to eat, okay? So, in summary, step 1, look at your calendar for events that you're going to be at risk, and if you're serious about controlling what you eat this Christmas, then start food journaling now. Step 2, make a plan for times you are going to be at risk, whether that's planning snacks you're going to eat when you do the food shop, in the morning, or right before you eat a buffet. Put a reminder in your calendar to do this and create your plan, because there might be quite a big gap between you watching this video and then you actually being at risk. So how are you going to remember to make your food plan? And then step 3, when thoughts about eating something you haven't planned crop up, how are you going to distract yourself? So here are some ideas. Make sure they are practical and something that you can actually try and implement. Okay? So there we go. Now, if you are someone who wants to lose weight, I offer a quick and very cost-effective solution to get you motivated. It is a one-off 40-minute coaching video that is guaranteed to get you motivated to start losing weight as soon as you finish watching it. Essentially, you'll be asked a lot of questions and given time to write down your answers to. So you can get access for 3 months, so you can sign up now and wait until the new year to do it if you like, or you can sign up and do it straight away. In fact, if one of your beliefs is that it's inevitable that you will put on weight over Christmas, then I recommend you go for it now. It's only 20 quid, guys, so it's a great investment in your health, and essentially the waitlist video will talk you through how to achieve whatever weight loss goal you set from yourself, whether that's a pound, a stone, whatever you set for yourself, it will help you get there. Have a fantastic Christmas. I hope this was really useful in terms of giving you lots of ideas and insights about what you can do to make sure you don't overeat this Christmas. Good luck. Have a lovely time with your friends and family.